What's going on, everyone? I have Dirk here.
What's up?
He is here. He's there. He's just, you can't see him, okay?
Right.
He's
we're,
right there.
We're still live at 5, and here we go. Having some technical difficulties with the camera, which is
And I'm
because
having technical difficulties with my AC.
yeah, it's going to be one of those days, but we're going to get through it. I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure why the camera doesn't work, but the mic does when the mic goes from the microphone to the camera and then from the camera to the computer. But for whatever reason, StreamYard doesn't want to display my video when Zoom does. So I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna get through this together. Okay. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
Besides, Alex is the better looking one to look at anyway, so it's probably good that my video is off. So it's okay.
Well, that's a subjective thing, but
Yeah.
but as you guys can see, I'm burnt, so I look like well, here I'm more burnt on. This will give you a reference.
Oh,
Look at
good
that.
Lord.
That's
Look
a
at
good
that.
line right there.
Farmer's tan. Farmer's tan. See,
Oh, dude, yeah, like I
wouldn't
was
be able to stand out in the sun for hours like you due to my dilapidated old person's medical condition state. About 10 or 15 minute walk, 10-minute walk is about all I can get, and then I'm in trouble. So, Mo Patty in the house.
I know.
Stacy.
Yeah, I am sunburned. Mo Patty.
I've heard that name, Stacy, before. Huh. I'm not sure where that is familiar.
Stacy Bolstered Blade.
Used to be somebody I knew.
I think I knew a person like that.
Used to know a person like that, but lately, Stacy? I don't know.
Oh man. Well, the reason why I'm sunburned is I did my first USPSA competition yesterday, and it was a blast.
So for those of so not only can you not see me today, but I can't seem to talk either. What is a USPSA competition that you did? What is that for the people that don't know?
All right, so USPSA stands for, I think, like United States Practical Shooting Association, and it's basically something that's been out since like the early 80s, and it's a nationwide thing where people compete with their pistols or guns, and they have basically an obstacle course with walls and targets, and you have to hit certain steel targets. And there's different rules, and you have to do multiple stages. So yesterday, it was 8 stages. I started around like 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I think we left around like 2 or 2:30. So I had a lot of bake time, direct sunlight, a lot of it, because you're out there in that kind of like sand pit area, right? Which acts as a backstop for people, who don't know what I'm talking about. So we went over there and we had a blast, and they basically, like, you go through the obstacle courses in groups. Mine had 8 people in it, and you go one at a time, and you basically go against a timer, and also you have different bullseyes on the target, which gives you, obviously, the closer to the center, you get, like more points. So they basically calculate your time and your hits into what's called a hit factor score, and you get these hit factor scores, which will put you in a classification of shooters. So there's D class shooter, there's C class shooter, B, A, and then there's master and grandmaster. And that's pretty much like a D shooter is somebody who's probably never shot a pistol before and just showed up. Okay. That's probably what like a D. Your average guy that goes to the range that can like hit targets okay and stuff, but maybe not used to moving around a lot with a gun, will probably be like your C class shooter. And then when you get to like also kind of like up to like a standard police officer, I guess, could be like a high C class shooter. And then if you're a B class shooter, you're more like a well-trained officer. You got like pretty good like idea of how to handle a gun, move around, and like maybe you're not the bullseye guy, but you're hitting all your targets as you go. And then A class is like, okay, now like I want to become a professional, and now people are starting to pay attention to me, and I'm probably looking pretty fast out there. And then you make it to master class, which is like, yeah, I'm like the top dog at most places I go, but when I go to national events, you know, you maybe like have a bunch of competitors. You're not as good like nationally as you are locally, right? And then grandmaster, you're like the top whatever percent. Like you're basically like really, really fast, but you hit all A zones too. Like you're always like hitting your bullseye, like wherever you shoot. Like they're very like consistent. That's the word I'm looking for.
So did you get in your first competition yesterday? Did you get an official classification now or no?
No, and thank God I didn't, because I shit the bed. I mean, I did. Where I fell was like there was like a couple like stages. So keep in mind, I'm brand new with a holster. I'm brand new with running and gunning with a pistol. Like I remember a little bit of running and gunning and like squad drills and stuff, but I was like in my 20s when I did that, right? I'm in my 40s now.
Yeah, a little different.
So very different. So like I pretty much felt like I was on a different planet when I got there, right? I'm really, and like there's very strict rules about like how to like where you're supposed to have your gun and where you can handle your gun and how you load your ammunition. Like there's designated areas and like specific rules.
All in the name of safety and stuff.
But they're strict, and they're very strict, and they're very easy, like it's easy to make that mistake. I mean, I've been handling guns for a long time, so I didn't have a problem with that, but I could see like if you're kind of like more the newer guy there, like even me handling guns a lot, like it was very nerve-wracking at the first like 30 minutes of putting the holster in my gun and, you know, having live ammo like on my side all the time walking around, because it's a different atmosphere when everybody's loaded around in there, right?
Right, because when you typically go to the range, you get your little one space, you put your stuff on the bench, and you just shoot. You're not moving, you're not carrying your gun from this point to that point. So to have that,
and there's nobody like generally like usually standing behind you too much and stuff.
Right.
Like,
it's more of an
individual
thing at the range. So yeah, that I could see how that would be very nerve-wracking walking around in a totally different environment with 50 other guys walking around in that same environment and, you know, shaking hands and kissing babies and walking around high-fiving and all that. It's different.
Right. Yep. It was definitely very different. So once I kind of got over that, luckily my first stage was literally like 4 targets that were staggered from each other. And then in some of the targets, like the outline is black on the outside and it's only like cardboard colored in the center, right? So the rule is it's 2 shots in each target in transition, and it's and you have to stay out of the black zone, right? So you got to get them centered, but you can go high or low. Yeah. Otherwise, they count as a miss.
Okay.
So that. I want to say the thing that was really interesting is I walked up, I'm like, oh, this is totally easy. These targets are way closer to anything I shoot at the range, right? Like, cool. This is a cool first, like, break me in warm up kind of thing, right?
Says the
but then I have like, but then I have like tons of people behind me who all like been doing it for a long time. They're all watching. You're all by yourself up front. And you're in this box. They have this box on the ground, and you have to stand in this box. You can't move from it. You have to shoot at that position.
Okay. Yeah.
So then you get another fear. Then they say, shooter, make ready. So then that's when you actually take your gun out and you load it and rack it and put it back into your holster, right? Live ammo. Don't shoot yourself in the leg. Don't do something stupid, right?
Right.
So I did that, right? But then that like quick like little sparkle of thought came in my head when he said that. I was like, oh shit, it's getting real.
Yeah.
And then they put this timer right by your ear, right? And the shooting timer records split times, which means like how much time between your shots, so how fast you are like at repeating shots, and then start to end like of your stage, right?
Yeah.
So it helps like kind of figure out your hit factor. So as soon I'm the first thing I thought was like, don't freak out when you hear the beep, right? And then I heard beep, and then I was like, there was like a quick second pause where like, what the fuck do I do now, right? Or like, oh yeah, grab from the holster, pa, right? And then when it was over, I'm holding the gun out like this when it's over, because there is a very strict rule about always pointing the gun down range, especially when you're doing these live like things, because I was running like these 22 round mags in my Glock. So those 6 shots, I'm still locked in.
Yeah. So quick question, not to interrupt there, but this happens in California.
No, go ahead.
And how are you able to, even for this competition, use, quote, you guys can't see my fingers in air quotes here, high capacity magazines? How is that legal for competition, but yet we're not allowed to own them in California?
It's not that you're not allowed to own them, but you have to acquire them previous to the law or during Freedom Week.
Or during Freedom Week. Yes, and they can't tell when you acquired them. So I guess that's...
These are freedom mags, man. These are freedom mags.
I guess that's the loophole. That's interesting. That's just an interesting little tidbit.
But let me add this, because I asked my buddy who took me the same damn question. I'm like, wait a minute, you're shooting with like the double stack and like extended mags? I'm like, yeah, nobody cares over there. So everybody like, yeah, I know Freedom Week is crazy. Freedom Week, for those of you who don't know, is there was like a little block between. There was a week of time in California where some law got struck down because of a court case decision, and for about a week, you could buy as many of these like regular magazines as you wanted in California. And it was called Freedom Week. And then California got upset. And of course, they put something else on top to block that again. So we're constantly fighting for regular capacity magazines. I'm going to quote them like regular capacity magazines.
Yeah. And so for those of you outside of California or don't know, we are limited in California, technically, legally, to a 10-round capacity magazine.
Like this one.
Even though my, one of my 9mm came with a standard 15-round magazines when they were brand new. I bought it and it came with 2 15-round magazines back in the 90s when I bought that one. And but now, because I have those 2, I am potentially could be a 2-time felon, because it's a felony for each magazine you have over 10 rounds for any firearm, whether that's an AR 3-rounder or your Beretta 9mm, like whatever.
So here's my answer to that. This is for competition. This is for home self-defense. That's kind of like where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
Like I would never, I mean, even if I had like crazy amounts of intruders, I'd rather just like take a bunch of these, because I can reload pretty fast now, than do this and get caught with it. Because you just don't know. Like because it's not the magazine that'll get you like in trouble. It's the fact that you're using one. It gives you a different intent. You get what I'm saying? Here I'm using like what I can get like over the counter.
Right.
This is different. This could get me screwed in a jury.
Yeah.
So it's like I could maybe even get away with it, but I wouldn't take the chance. I would just use this because why not? I guess I just gotta like, get faster.
Yeah, it's stupid. California is absolutely dumb in those regards. There's a lot of, well, I don't know if I want to go and say there's a lot of good things about California, but there are good things about California. There are
Well,
a lot
one
of
thing I want to
stupid things.
one thing I want to mention though, like, because there we probably like in podcasts like this probably have less people from California and more from other states. I know we
Yep.
have a few from Cali. And the thing is like when it comes to California, I think like people really hate the state because they're under the impression like the state is so blue, right? Like, but it
Mm.
really isn't, guys. It's not. It's actually majority more right-leaning people, like I would say. But the problem is everybody at the top who runs and pulls the strings, those are the blue ones, you know? So,
Yep.
and I'm sure like some of you guys might have seen that Sean Ryan clip where he's interviewing Gavin Newsom on Monday. It's going to come out, and he hands him a 10-round capacity SIG macro
The
X macro P.
365 X
Yeah,
macro,
the
the California
P365,
compliant.
that one.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So that
Yeah,
should be interesting, you know, to
Cullion
watch.
Award did a breakdown video about that today too that I saw, which was
I
really
saw
good.
that one too.
Explains
Yeah.
what a dirtbag Newsom is.
Yeah.
Mo Patty asks, can you get in trouble even though you compete? Yeah, technically he can probably get in trouble with a 21 or 22 round capacity.
I don't think I would get in trouble because of the fact that they like it depends where I'm using them, right? Like if I'm
Right.
taking them even to my local range, I took these just to test fire them because I got them for
Right.
the competition. Although to be fair, I didn't have the extenders on them yet. I just wanted to, you know, check and
Yeah.
make sure they were good mags. And nobody said nothing. So I don't
Yeah.
think like I think it's more like the carry outside self-defense
Right.
situation is where you're not going to want to get caught with like stuff like this.
I
You know?
agree.
And
I've been to ranges here locally as well with 30-round AR mags, and nobody really seems to care. The range master doesn't say a boo. Usually at the ranges, you're not going to have an issue. Where you're going to have an issue is if you're carrying that out at the mall and you get into a defensive encounter and you utilize it. That's where the prosecutor is going to eviscerate you because you had high capacity magazines. According to the state, it's high capacity. I say that with a grimace because we know. I mean, the 22 rounders, those might technically be. I don't know that those are standard capacities for any Glocks.
No.
So those would technically be a high capacity, but like a 15 round for a Beretta, a 30 round for an AR, those are standard in every state of the union except California. But yeah, let's just not go there. Automatic knives are also illegal in California as well. So we've got that as well.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I wanted to answer. Somebody asked me earlier if I got classified if I got classified on my shooting, like A, B, or C, or D, or whatever. The answer is no, because it takes 6 events calculated together to get a classification. So I gotta go. I gotta do 6 events, and then I'll have my classification. And I mean, like I said, I'm glad it wasn't based on one because I did pretty good. Like moving and shooting, I don't really like practice like rapid fire because we don't do that at the range, right? So that was my first time trying to like speed it up. Then when you start speeding it up too fast and you haven't had a lot of practice, then you're starting to pull rounds and miss targets and stuff. So I was kind of like trying to not take it seriously. I don't care about the score. I just want to run around with the gun and like learn what that feels like, if that makes sense, right? Like just get comfortable with it. Because like I said, just that one stationary like stage, like
Yeah.
was already a lot. Imagine when I went to the next one, and there was one where like you had like a bridge that like it's kind of like a
Oh, it was like
teeter
a teeter
totter.
totter. I saw that video you sent me.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, you went up the bridge and then it teeter tottered like a seesaw
Yep.
down the other side. I would have fell on my
Yep.
ass. I would have fallen right then.
Oh man, I was so excited. I was like, oh, there's like obstacle courses. I was having a blast with that.
He was
There was
certainly getting his
yeah, there
John
was
Wick
those.
on.
Am I using optics or iron sights? I am using optics. I have here, I'll show you. Here's the gun I'm using for competition. It's a Glock 17. It's got a Trigicon like an RMR, you know, kind of a red dot deal. It's got co-witness sights. Co-witness sights are cool because if you like, basically, if you look at the back of the window, if you lose your sight, you got, it's hard to kind of like make it fit. There you go. We could get the dot.
So the iron sights line up with the red dot.
Exactly. So like if the red dot goes out, then you can use your iron sights to shoot through the glass. Another thing that I kind of started using it for competition was I can use this and this as a reference point to see how level I am, so that when I present the gun, I'm like pretty much guaranteed to like acquire the red dot. Because if you, as you can see, like if you don't look at it just in that little narrow window, you lose the dot and then you don't know where you're shooting, right? So like the index is really important when it comes to guns, to like present and like practice and have the muscle memory to make the dot present every time. And then sometimes if you're like holding the gun too loose, you'll shoot and the recoil, if you're not holding the gun right, will make the dot like flip out, you know, and then you got to like reacquire it. So those are all like beginner problems that I have. Like people who like shoot red dot like professionally, they're not looking at the dot most of the time. They're looking at the target and they move the dot and put it on top. So it's like wherever their eyes track is where like the sight follows the eyes, not the other way around, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yep. So when is your next event and how often are they, so we can track to know when you get your classification?
Oh, no.
Because now we all want to know.
Oh yeah, most likely like from my points and stuff and the way I was shooting, although I don't want to count that because there was some stages I completely forgot to shoot a couple targets and all kinds of stuff.
I totally get it. I can't imagine the stress.
I'll probably be a C shooter, because I saw a podcast once where like these guys were talking about like going and doing this like competition shooting, and they said something really weird. They said, you know, like when I'm at training at my range, I perform to a certain level. When you go to competition, a lot of times you're only like really pushing it to about 50% of that potential. I'm like, shit, 50%? That sounds like a huge reduction. I don't know about that. Well, I definitely felt like 50% less capable of doing anything yesterday because of the nerves and the new experience and everything. So it was kind of like accurate, I guess. But it was a good time, you know, like
I think that will come with time. By the time you do your 7, 8, 10, 15th event, you'll still have some nerves always. Like I did a bunch of triathlons back, years ago. And the first one, I was super nervous. I didn't know, am I going to remember how to like put my bike shoes on after I get out of the water and things like that. And so there's a lot of nerves, but there's always a little bit of nerves every single event. But for time, there was less nerves by the time I did my third or fourth one than my first one. So, but at the end of the day, you had fun. You didn't trip and fall, and you didn't give yourself any new holes in your body. So right there, that's a win.
That was a win. Remember, I told you I had one goal. I just didn't want a DQ. Like I didn't want to like muzzle flash anybody or anything like that. That was my number one goal. And then I think it took The first event was like the fear of like grabbing a gun and drawing and like having everybody stare at you. The
Right.
beep, right? That was that thing. The second one was like the second stage was crazy because so it had like a bunch of like very tall like barrels, like big wide blue barrels, plastic ones, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they were placed all over the place, and there was targets that were like kind of sideways, like right behind it. So you would have to like peek around the barrel and maybe or two or three different rows of barrels to even see some of these targets. And I
Okay.
counted the targets. There was 18 targets there, and you have to put 2 holes in each, right? So now I'm counting 18 times
Uh,
2. Definitely gonna have to reload once. So I'm trying to find a spot to reload. Like, okay, well, when I run all the way to the right, then it's the time to like flick the mag out, reload, and get ready for the last half. Well, there was so much going on. They let you walk through the course before for about like maybe like 3 or 5 minutes. You can kind of like walk through the course, hold your
okay.
hands out, and kind of like plan where you're gonna do your thing.
Yeah.
And after about like 3 to 5 minutes, because remember the first stage, I didn't move my feet. I'm like, this is the
Right.
first one where I'm gonna be moving around. All right, so I came up with a plan, came up to my turn and beat. Yeah, like so I shot actually the targets pretty accurately, but like when I was peeking around, I literally didn't I forgot my plan in my head and I got
Yeah.
completely lost. And I probably like had like a no shoot on like I think 4 or 5 of those targets that I missed.
Yeah.
So then there was that. And
That's
then,
what
as
happens on the first time.
after, hey
That's the
guys,
first
after,
time out. So John also shoots USPSA apparently.
oh, cool. Very cool.
So he has some good points. I'm sure he'd been doing it for a little while. Him and I still need to get together. He's not that far from me up here in like Santa Rosa, if I recall. And we've only been talking about getting together for lunch or something for like 3 years. So it's at some point it'll happen. I can't drive right now,
Yeah.
so I can't drive to you. But if you want to drive to me, we can work something out. Let me know. But yeah, for medical reasons, I still can't drive. But yeah, which kind of sucks. I'm kind of over that part of it. I'd like to be able to just jump in my car, run to UPS, and drop off this box that I've got to get back to my buddy Anthony. But now I have to like
Right.
schedule time with my girlfriend. Hey, what are you doing on Monday? Do you have a half an hour that you can take me to run a couple of errands? Because I need to return this thing I bought on some stupid social media thing that I don't like. And I got to drop this box off at the UPS store. Like, so I wish I could drive. That means I have to buy a new battery for my car because it died for the 2 months I was in the hospital, but
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
But so I don't really want to go spend $250 on a battery so that I can drive, but I would like to be able to drive again. Man.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, you
sorry
get
to go off sideways
that's
there.
no, that's freedom right there. You got to get driving again, man.
But I'm saving a lot of money on gas. Plus, I
That's
need to get my
true.
car smogged. I paid the registration, so I'm not going to get penalties, but I can't get my sticker until I go get the smog. So I got to get the battery, get it smogged, and then I can drive and be happy and get my sticker and all that happy horse shit. Anyway, Help with Gadget says he's been old school, no optics until recently. I have never shot with an optic yet either, so I don't know what that's about. But still getting used to that and trying to
So
decide if I want to EDC with an optic or not. Now, let me ask you this,
so
Help with Gadgets. Do you EDC with a flashlight yet? Yes or no? Because I know this is question and answers you guys are supposed to ask us, but we're going to ask you guys some questions too.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like if you're new with optics, like I think it's so I get asked that a lot because I've been shooting red dot at the range probably for a good like 10 years. And I think there's like a whole debate red dot versus iron sights or which one's better. And I think like I like iron sights because there is no window to really look at. Like what you're really like more like worried about indexing, and then some people like start with the front sight and lift up the rear. Like there's all different ways of doing it, but I think like an optic could be a distraction if you let it be. So that's number one. Number
Okay.
two, like a lot of guys that have been shooting iron sights for years have a very hard time with red dots because they're used to looking at the front post and blurring out the rear,
Right.
the target. That's not what you do with red dot. You stare at the target and you never look at the dot. You always like stare at the target and you look at like not the target in general, which I
Yeah.
started doing a little bit yesterday as I started getting nervous when I was shooting. I was like, I wasn't focusing like aim small, miss small, that whole like look at a little
Yes.
point and try to go for that in the center versus just trying to hit the target, right? So but red dot, once you get good at it, I think it's superior. And because of the fact that you're looking out there and not in front of your gun, I think it makes you, if you're doing it right, it makes you easier to be aware of your like environment. So with that kind of stuff, although to be fair, I competed with a guy yesterday who's also was named Alex, and he was using a Glock 34, which is more of a competition Glock. It's like the longer slide,
Oh
and it
yeah.
had like, but it comes with like these more precise, like not the regular Glock sights. There's like some like I think the back dovetail lifts up and down or something, and he was shooting great with that thing, iron sights. So like
Okay.
guys that like the iron sight thing, like there's no reason to go to red dot if you're already really good with irons. If you want to make that move, like there's such different shooting philosophies that it's like you kind of just want to do one or the other, in my opinion. Like I could still pick up an iron sight gun and like hit my target, but with the red dot I can maybe like hit the center like with intention. Whereas like the iron sight, like I may be like not really centered as well. And it takes like time to reference each and every gun because some
Right.
iron sights you're supposed to put the intended like hit zone like right above the post. Some of it you put the post on top of it. Like there's all kinds of stuff that goes on with that. You can go on and on and on. But I do like red dots. Red dots are the shit for me.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I've been, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I've been looking at different new carry guns and stuff, and
Right.
I will, the plan is when I do decide what to get one, get a red dot for it, get optics for it, and get a light for it, and all of that. So, but
Yep.
we'll see. That's my plan, but we're not sure.
You're gonna be very pleasantly surprised because most guns now have like are coming with optic plates like out of the box. So
Yeah, I am
it's
definitely looking for something that has a plate and has the Picatinny rails underneath so that you can do things easier. So that's my
yeah,
plan is whatever I'm going to buy will have to have a rail and a plate for an optic so that if I don't add it day one, I could add it day 10 or, whatever. Right. So,
right.
but yeah.
Uh,
So
I
John
always
said
think the Glock
carry
19 is the best for that.
a small ray light. And he competes in production minor, which is just
Iron.
irons. Red Dot Division is crazy fast, but they're also easier as a pistol match. LPVOs and dots on my rifles. Okay.
Oh, then that's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, I don't know. Like when I built this gun like 10 years ago, I just honestly, I don't know. I have a lazy eye and I have one eye that's a little bit weaker than the other. So for me to have depth
Mm.
perception is a little bit more difficult than the average person. So for me, this was like a little bit of a cheat. And
Yep.
believe it or not, after I started shooting this and I got my fundamentals down, then all of a sudden, like when I went back to iron sights, I actually was a lot more precise with iron sights. You know what I mean? So, but I agree. Iron sights, like if it was just a carry gun, like I don't think optics are necessary for like a self defense gun. But I like it, you know, like, and the fact that a bright red dot presents in your face, like you can, it's
All
really
right.
pronounced when you do it right. And it's really cool when it works out, because the next, like, I got grip down pretty good now. I've got that kind of figured out. The next thing I'm really trying to like work on is like being able to like present the gun and like the dot is right on top of the target, dead center where my eye was pointing at. So you can do that. That's how professional shooters shoot so fast, and you can't even believe it. Everything's like they're moving ahead of their gun and their eyes are moving ahead of their sights. So that's how they do that. And a lot of them, like, I've been like doing some research on some good exercises and like practice things to like get a lot faster with it. But also another thing that sucked is my trigger went out the Sunday before, and I had a Timney trigger, and it was only like a 2-pound trigger, and that's what I've been shooting this gun with for the past year. And since it broke, I had to like put my Zevtech trigger back in, and my trigger went up like 2.5 pounds. So that was something to get used to too, you know, during the match.
Right.
Another thing, like Dirk was aware of too, is we didn't even know if this gun was gonna run, because I just like fixed it on a whim. And so I brought my Glock 19 and a spare holster too, just in case like the other gun goes down. So it was a lot going on in my head yesterday.
I'm
And it
sure.
was hot. And it was hot. But yeah.
That's why he forgot all of his sunscreen, because there was so much other stuff going through his mind. He forgot to reapply his SPF 50. Oh wait, I'm talking
Yeah.
about me, because I use SPF 50 because I am already white, almost translucent. I go out in the sun, I get whiter. Like I get red, I burn in about 10 minutes. On a normal day, I'm more translucent than I am white, actually. So it's kind of an interesting thing. My
I
girl's
got
like,
that.
no, no, no,
I
don't
got
take
the
your
translucency too, Dirk. Look, you can see it right here. See, I'm translucent right here.
exactly.
I'm
So
like
I
I'm
use a
like a dolphin, man.
yeah.
See, I'm a dolphin. I'm dark, or like a shark. I'm dark on top and white on
Yep.
bottom.
So yeah, when I'm outside in the sun or whatever, I wear like a long sleeve, like a rash guard shirt, they call them, like the thin, breathable, whatever. But I always wear one of those like under a t-shirt, or just wear one of those around at the beach and stuff. It kind of looks funny, but I don't go home with sunburn. So
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm not in any pain, man. I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel fine. Yeah,
And I have
my friend told me, he was like, "Hey, by the way, you're probably gonna be a little sore tomorrow." I'm like, "Nah," and
okay, good.
nah, not really, but a little muscle fatigue, I guess. I guess I used a couple muscles I haven't like moved
Yes,
in a while.
I'm
So,
sure.
but I mean, not really, because I'm still active. I still walk the dog 3 miles a day. I still like do my thing. So, hey,
Dennis,
thanks, man.
kudos for getting out there. Well,
It was fun.
thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit, Dennis. It's been a while. So
Yeah, man. I like Dennis. Dennis is a cool dude.
Dennis is a cool guy. If you're not following his YouTube channel, please do. If you're not following Alex on Instagram, you're missing out, because he posted a few of the videos from his competition yesterday. So you can see him actually doing a couple of those stages, which is pretty fun. So
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
you
I
should
had
be
a
following
couple.
us on Instagram and or Facebook if you have one or the other or both.
I was thinking about doing. I haven't made a video in a while. I have a couple like videos like in the can right now that I was supposed to make, but I've been busy with this thing.
Slacker.
And I think I know. I think I'm gonna do a video of my first USPSA competition, kind of like what like it felt like in a couple
Uh-huh.
of the clips. I have some pretty funny clips too, man. I had this one like where like because some stages you start loaded and some stages you start unloaded, so you have to draw,
Oh, okay.
load, racket, and then shoot. And yeah, one of them, these mags are way heavier, and I just got these like a week ago, right? So these are way heavier than these. So when usually like the amount of force I do when I like slap this mag in, it
Mm-hmm.
locks fairly easily. But I think with these base plates, there's a little bouncing action that goes on. So
Oh, yeah,
there was one stage where like I like you see me like putting the thing in, I take my hand, I slap it, and then I go and present the gun, and this thing just drops right out of it. So then I go and grab another mag, shove it in there, and start shooting. Like some funny stuff that happened, man. It was pretty cool. I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
I can totally get that on like your first anything is gonna be like that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't take those things hard. You know, I always think it's funny,
Yep.
and I know I'm gonna do it again. I know it, you know, and I saw a bunch of other guys doing similar stuff, and the other reason too is because like when we were running our stages, you saw they were all in dirt, like sand.
Yes.
So I have also never experienced dropping my mags in sand.
Right.
And so they like by that stage where like they were like dropping out, they were getting a little gritty when they were going in there.
Yep.
So I did a little research, and there's like some sort of like Teflon spray or something. Some of the guys spray on this thing to make like less dirt stick to it, and then it slides in a little easier. So
Okay. I'm sure there is.
there's little tidbits and tricks, you know. So yeah, that was my experience with that. And
Uh-huh. John says
that's
rainy day matches are absolutely the most fun. They're slow and super fun. They don't sound fun to me.
they
Uh,
sound fun to me too, actually. That does sound fun.
drinking water, yes. I'm having technical difficulties for some reason. It StreamYard is defaulting to my internal integrated camera on my laptop, but my laptop is closed the way my setup is here, and it won't take my external camera. So, which is strange because the microphone plugs into the camera and then the camera plugs into the computer. So you just get my voice. Besides, Alex is better looking than I am, so nobody wants to see my sick, under malnutritious, face and stuff anyway. So it worked out
That's
this
not
way.
true, Dirk. We love to see your face at any time. And yeah. And me, I'm sweating.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
getting.
bothered though. It's still way cooler than yesterday.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's why my camera's not on. But that's okay.
So do you guys have some questions for us?
Yeah, we've been rambling for 40 minutes now. I'm shocked because we didn't really have a big plan for today. We thought we kind of opened
No.
it up to, you guys, and I think we were supposed to technically be last week, but it's all good. We try to do every other week, but with my medical stuff, it's been different and things like that. So, yes, Stacy. Oh, that's who Stacy is. One of my first channel members.
Yes.
Yes, I do have channel membership. It's 99 cents a month. You get basically zero perks other than some cool custom emojis I built for it. And it's just a way for you to support me if you so choose. I figured, like, I saw everybody else's channel membership things, and they're like, oh, well, we'll respond to you like in email, or we'll respond in instant message and things like that, like all these things. And I'm like, I already do all of that. I can't offer that for a price. Like, I talk to anybody that messages me. I talk to you. I will spend hours messaging with people that I've never met because they ask a question. So I couldn't offer that as a perk. So I didn't know any perks to do. So I just put it together for 99 cents to see if anybody would do it. I didn't advertise it or nothing. And I think in a day, Stacy joined, and in a week, I had like 3 people, and now there's like 7. There's like 27 today, but that's because I think on the last live, Anthony like gifted out 10 memberships. So I think there's like 15 or 16 people that actually routinely have paid $1 a month. But so if you're so inclined, feel free.
Mo Patty says I look like I'm in a sauna. He's totally right.
Oh boy.
That's kind
And
of
then
what
I
I'm doing
saw
right
another.
now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dennis wants to know if your AC's broke.
Yes. And only in my bedroom. Like the girls out there in the living room, I have a separate one out there, works great. But the one in this room where the computer is broken.
Ah,
Oh,
okay. John wants to know if you're still working on getting into law enforcement or not, because we had talked
I
about that at
am
some.
not. That's true. That's true. So I did take that journey. I went all the way through, but I was not selected. There was 325 applicants. They picked 35 people for a new facility they were building, and unfortunately, I was not chosen. I was invited to come back the next year, and I just kind of felt like I was chasing like like I would love to be a police officer, and that was like something I had my heart in. But I'm in my mid 40s. I have a little girl, growing up right now. Like there's a lot of things that I felt like it was starting to like maybe be a selfish choice to do that, like to try to go do something I
Yeah.
wanted to do. So I decided to be happy with what I do and go find some hobbies that'll scratch the itch, I guess.
I get that. That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense to me. Ravi wants to know if we like K-pop Demon Hunters movie.
No.
No, one, I have no idea exactly what that is. But the K-pop thing, I kind of know what that is, and no, I'm not into that.
Yeah, no. No anime stuff or that kind of stuff for me. My daughter kind of likes a little bit of that stuff, I guess.
Yeah, but good question. Yeah, we're
Good
open to
question.
anything. We are open books here. I try to be, so I'll answer pretty much anything. Um, but and yeah, Dennis says you got to keep the ladies happy in the other room. So
Yeah.
yeah, John says he totally gets it. He has a calling to join my sheriff buddies, but he's single, full time father, and I have to keep safe too. So he gets it. Yeah, we gotta as we
Yeah.
get older. In Alex is in his 40s. I'm in my 50s with grandkid and a half because my daughter-in-law is pregnant again. I'm allowed to say that now because it's public knowledge, apparently. So she's due in October with another boy. So I will have two grandsons
Nice.
in October, end of
That's
October.
awesome.
So super stoked about that. So again, we talked earlier in this show about California having some good things. It has my son, his wife, and soon to be two kids. So those are good things for me. Knife life. How about this?
All right. A knife
Liner
question,
lock
man.
or frame lock? Wow.
How about this? Why don't you
Huh.
you argue for one and I'll argue for the other, and let's see what we come up with.
I'm going to go with the liner lock then.
Okay, I'll go with the frame lock. That's
And I like
yep.
the liner lock. I think that's the superior one because, oh, I was trying to grab a knife here to show on camera, but I can't because the camera doesn't work. Um, for two reasons, I like them over the frame lock. One is lock bar pressure. You don't have to worry about where you place your hand on the lock side of the knife when you go to deploy it. It's just going to open all the time, which is great because there are certain knives where if you put a little bit of pressure, just the slightest pinky on that lock bar, you're going to have it hell to open. The other reason I like them is because it is very clean looking on both sides. So you can do exotic material on that lock side, whether it be Timascus or Mokame or Westinghouse or whatever. And it's going to look clean on both sides, other than just the clip is going to be the only difference. So those are my two main reasons for liking them. Sure, people say they can be a little bit less strong and the liner might fail, whereas a frame lock won't fail. To my point, I would say if you're doing something that quote hard use, go get yourself a fixed blade. and do it right.
I'm not going to argue that frame locks are stronger because I looked into this question over the years. I asked a lot of
Yep.
knife makers, and
It's
it
a big
seems to
question.
be that's not really the case.
Mhm.
However, like if we really like all want to know one thing, like I know for sure is that I've never seen a liner lock fail, like a
Neither have
quality
I.
liner, a quality one, right? Not like a
You're right.
$5
The
gas
gas
station
station
knife.
crap, that doesn't count. But any quality made, even a quality made
$50 and above.
knife, $50 and above, $45 and above, I've never seen one fail. So, but I have seen some custom brand new frame locks that got shipped to me by a maker for another person that bought it. And the frame lock was failed right out of the gate. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And then the maker told the owner, because I told the owner reached out to the maker and said, hey, Dirk's got the knife and it's got lock fail. And he goes, oh, you need to open it and close it like 200 times, and then it will harden up and it'll lock up fine. I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I did it.
I remember that.
I opened and closed it 300 times. I literally kept a hashtag mark thing. And for a week between calls and work, I opened it, closed it 300 times. It never locked up. It still was a slip joint. That was funny as shit.
That was an American-made knife, right?
And that was an American-made knife, which we won't name the name, but it was an American-made custom knife.
Come on, I remember his name.
I thought it was ugly. Okay, it was Rich-made knives. Okay.
Yeah.
I think they're ugly knives, personally. I have seen other Rich-made knives that were great quality. The aesthetics don't appeal to me. That particular one had a quality issue. The other ones have not. So let's just get that out of the way. Here's a great question from Guri. Any thoughts of recording your shootings on smart glasses? You can get the video from your perspective. That's a funny. Great idea.
I'm so way ahead of you already. Like, it's not even funny. I've been looking at this for a while. So there's a couple different ways people record cool shooting videos in POV. Like, the way I'm going to do it is a baseball cap with a bill with a camera on it. That's the way, like, most people are doing, because you could use, like, a higher quality camera, like, that way.
Yes.
Than those glasses. My friend, ironically enough, you mentioned it, my friend, I forgot what brand it was, but one of my friends I saw on Instagram who does actually shoot USPSA, and he's in open division, so he does like, he's in like the highest competition there is, like, because he runs a full race gun and everything. And he used these smart glasses. He said they work for about like half of the match, but because of the heat, like they stopped recording like out of nowhere. So he lost half of his match with those things.
Okay.
Which kind of sucked, but I'd probably like see what brand they were. But he's like, yeah, I like highly don't recommend those. So I'm gonna go with, I think it's an Insta 360 or something like that.
Yeah,
there's one that has like the box. It's got like a camera and a box, right? And you can separate the camera, and then it's got a little screen you can look at independently to see like where your camera's pointing or whatever. So that's the one I think that one's pretty cool. Yeah. But it's like $400 or $500.
Oh yeah. So John thought about doing the glasses thing, but he started to wear a vest that has a phone carrier, but it bounces like crazy and you can't see shot placement or any form, so he stopped.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would work. I've seen people put GoPros on their t-shirt right here, like up at the top.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that seems to work. That works really great. Like, people get great footage of doing that. I've seen them like lower, like kind of like in the midsection. Some people try to do that. Hey, what's up? KF Boston in the house. But I think the bill on the hat is probably going to be the best bet.
That's probably going to be the most stable, I would think.
Yeah. But I don't even think you'll be able to catch your shot placement like Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to catch your shot placement on camera anyways, like, because I
Right.
don't know, it's gonna be like depending on how far you're shooting, how far your targets are, I guess. But
Right.
or if you got those cool like splattering targets,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
like those. It's like a
Uh,
zombie, and you shoot him in the head, and then some green stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
right. Yeah, blind. I'm having some technical difficulty. StreamYard didn't want to accept my external camera. It wanted to use the integrated camera on my laptop. But my setup here, my laptop is physically closed, and I don't have the opportunity to really open it. If you've seen, I did a whole office studio tour visit or tour video a couple months back, right after I got my 49-inch super widescreen monitor installed and up and going. I did a video, so I'll try to put that in the comments down below if you want to see that my setup here. It's kind of cool. It's to get the behind the scenes. Not that anybody really cares, but I'll put it in a comment just because. Why not? Or at the end of the video, they have cards that come up. Maybe I'll just put it there. Who knows? Try to get more views. I was down for 2.5 months in the hospital with no video, so I got to get more views going again because the view count like went down to like nothing, and I barely got any money from YouTube. So I got to kind of crank it up a little bit more. Bradford's been a member for 8 months. Awesome.
Nice.
It means a lot to the people that do become members, because for you to spend your 99 cents a month with me means more than I can explain. And like I said in my appreciation video the other day, everybody who's ever sent me a text or a message asking how I'm doing and how hospital life. Sure.
You're cutting in and out a little, Dirk. Or maybe, or is it me?
It's maybe my internet is.
So we got a couple other questions. We have Knife
Dying.
Life says.
So you probably didn't hear anything I was saying.
I heard half of it. So until Dirk gets back,
I don't know. Is it back? Maybe I'm back.
Oh, there you are. Now you're back. Are you there, Dirk?
Can you hear me?
All right, I'm gonna go with this. Oh, a little bit.
Am I back?
You sound like you're back.
I'm maybe back. I don't know what happened. I was rambling.
I think you're back.
Then I was talking to myself, I think, for like 5 minutes. All right. Well,
not 5 minutes.
I don't know where I lost you.
30 or 40 seconds.
All right. Well, I think you guys get the gist. Here's another question. Is blade to handle ratio more important to you, or is it just the amount of cutting edge matter most? I like a full size handle, like that I can get all 4 fingers on, and the blade length is less important than the handle to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same exact thing, actually. Like, I do agree, like, if you're talking about aesthetically, like, of course, more blade to handle ratio is like, it's something designers have like strived to do over the years. And there's some really good examples of like Shirogorov, for example, like cuts out a piece of their backspacer so that the tip goes as far back as possible, like on the Neon Zero and a couple other different knives they've done. There's many examples. So aesthetically, that makes a knife way better looking, of course. But if I'm taking a knife as a tool, like I really don't care if it's aesthetic as long as it's functional. So like if I got like a nice long handle on a blade that's maybe only like 2.5, 3 inches long, and that's all I need to cut down a bunch of boxes, I'm okay with that. But then like when it comes to a less functional blade, like because the blade, let's say, is only like 3 inches, I got a smaller handle and I got one of my fingers dropping off, I may not like that as much. You know what I mean? Even
Yep.
though it looks better, it doesn't work as good.
Yeah,
So
exactly my point too.
yeah. Let's see what John says. Well, oh, but I learn the most when seeing videos, my body movement against the timer and those videos over and over. I agree. Like perspective helps. I was lucky enough. I didn't even know my friend was recording me, but he was recording. He recorded all 8 stages, and that was the best thing for me because first of all, like you want to know what you look like. Like, am I like tripping over stuff? Because like, what's happening at the time versus what your perception of what's happening could be two different things. So that was kind of like the first thing. Like, is what I perceived like what happened through the stage exactly what happened? And in some cases it wasn't. So I did learn like from some of those videos, which was great. I thought I looked kind of cool doing it. You know, I had good lean, I had good posture, I had like my back leg planted well. I just didn't do a lot of fast follow-up shots until like probably like I didn't start speeding up the rounds until probably like stage 6 or 7, and there's only 8. Like I just, slow increment, whatever I felt comfortable with is what I did. And then like towards the end, I try to crank out the speed. And there was actually, it's sad, like my friend's phone died because after like the event was over, like you can shoot there as long as you want. Like the event's over, there's nobody moving from stage. So we stayed at the last stage where
Oh,
that
that's
jet ski
cool.
was for like another like 45 minutes, and we dumped as much ammo as we wanted. So like I did one where I did a rapid fire of all 22 rounds. Like we did like our own little running drills and just kind of practice and stuff like that. So that was fun. Like there was actually probably in that 30-40 minutes almost as much learning for me because I'm not restricted like to rules. Like I can
Yeah.
say, okay, let me try to like go through these 3, and like the 3 consecutive metal plates I hit in one stage, like let me try to see if I can make it like plink 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 plink, like really fast. So there was a lot of that stuff I got to do when I wasn't on a timer, so there was that was kind of cool too. But yeah, it was fun. But you're right, you can learn a lot from like looking at yourself in any hobby really. So
Oh, for sure.
that was kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
cool.
And it's kind of good that you didn't realize that your friend was filming you, because then that would have made you even a little more maybe nervous or whatnot. Like, you're getting the
Right.
true look at how you were moving without, being on stage, so to speak. Here's another question from Bradford. Do you think there is value in paying an upcharge for monkey edge frag pattern for higher end knives like Hinder, Medford, and Strider to get the 3V steel knives?
I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I like
Yeah.
I like the
No.
grenade pattern stuff a lot. Like I used to have a Monkey's Edge F95 Shirogorov, and I don't know. That I mean, it's aesthetics. It's not like if you're
Yeah.
you're just buying it for the 3V steel. I know Striders come with 3V steels regardless of being a Monkey's Edge. There's a
Right.
couple different versions out there. Medford, you don't want that.
You don't want that
Hinders,
to begin with
yeah.
at any price, but we won't go there. But no, I don't see any value unless you like that pattern. Like, some people may say, oh, don't buy a red car and pay extra. Like, well, I wanted a red car, so I bought a red car. Like, if you like the aesthetics of the frag pattern, grenade pattern, whatever, well, then yeah, sometimes you got to pay extra for that.
And in the collector market, like if you buy a Monkey's Edge anything, like it does pretty well. Like if you ever want
Yes.
to flip it, right? Like it's a popular shop. Like a lot of people know who Monkey's Edge is, and
Yeah.
they put frag on everything, right? So
Right.
it should make it slightly easier to resell, maybe more desirable than like a standard one. So there's always that.
Yeah, I mean, for that, that's a good thing too. But again, for the record, knives are not investment pieces. Watches are not
Mm.
investment pieces. Don't buy them to invest. Buy them because you like them. Because unless you have the certain watches, like I have the Silver Snoopy Award one, right, from Omega. That one I probably won't lose money on if I ever go to sell it. Not that I'm going to sell it, but I wouldn't lose any money on that one. The Rolex Air King that I have probably won't lose any money. But outside of those two watches that I own, everything else I've lost money
Yeah.
if I go to sell them. I don't sell a lot of watches, but and same with knives. Some
Yeah.
knives you're going to buy and you're going to get 50% back,
Yep.
40% back, maybe. One of them that was mentioned up there in the Medford Strider Hinderer question. One of those, you're going to get 40 or 50% back when you go to sell it.
Yep.
Others, you might lose $50, $100.
Well, it depends. I think I think that's maybe you. It depends on what condition you sell it, because like
Well,
Striders, you could get good money for Striders and Hinderers.
yes.
Medford, 50%
Brand new, never used, you're going to get 50%
if you're lucky,
if you're
and
lucky
that's
on a
if
good
you
day.
can even sell it. Like if anybody even
Yes.
wants that thing. As you could tell, we're not Medford fans here,
Not Medford fans anymore.
and
I
we both used to be, but
Yes, very
yeah,
big. I have owned over 100 Medfords before.
yeah. I haven't owned that many, but I liked them. I think I bought probably like 4 or 5 knives from Greg before.
Yeah.
I sold them
So
all.
yeah, I have 3 left. I kept for specific reasons because it was from the very first Centurion event he had at his shop at his house. And I met 12 guys there, and we're still great friends today, 6 or 7 years, 8 years later. So I kept that knife. I kept the one from the second event, and I kept a grenade tie because he made them specifically for our group of 12. So
Yeah.
that's why I kept those 3. Everything else got sold. The grenade I think about selling because I could make money off of that specific one, but yeah, I don't know.
Do you prefer internal blade stops or external blade stops?
I have zero preference. Doesn't matter to me.
I kind of like it inside. That's like the external ones are like when like you open the knife and it uses like the thumb studs as like stoppers.
Yeah.
I kind of like having the pin on the inside personally.
Yeah, I don't really care. I think they're both equally as strong. You don't have to worry about either, like the strength of either. Um,
Yeah,
and
I
I
think
think,
strength wise it's fine.
yeah, strength wise,
But
you're fine either way. It's more of an aesthetic or a
yep.
texture thing as you're manipulating the knife and things like that. So I don't know that it matters to me personally. Patty
This one's
wants
for
to
you,
know
Dirk.
who's a good person to speak to about a Rolex. Get an appraisal first. You can start with me. I got 2 good friends that are super Rolex experienced. If you have like an older Rolex that you're trying to get rid of or something, I'm not sure what the situation is, but um, let me know. And if you're trying to sell something or whatnot, I can maybe help get you connected with the right people. Maybe if you're looking to buy something new, like if you're buying something used offline, you want to be very careful. If you have a 1980 Rolex, yeah, hit me up on the side. I can get some information from you and ask my friend about the values and things like that. If that's what you're trying to do.
I am all right, my friend. I am just sweating because my AC is broken in this room. So, but computer's in this room, so here I am.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me though. I'm okay. I'm actually having a sauna right now. I got myself a nice ice cold Coke. I hope you guys don't mind me doing Coke on the podcast.
Oh boy. Actually, I have been, so about 8 years ago, I'd have to look on my my counter app. It's about 8 years ago, I stopped drinking sodas, energy drinks, all of that. And then my surgeon suggested that I drink a Coke a day to help the acid from the soda help in my digestion and eating away at the dead tissue in my belly from all my illnesses without getting too graphic. And so I've been having one of those. I got those minis, 7.5 ounce like mini cans. So I have one of those a day, and I don't know if it's helping, but they did say that after my last procedure last Monday, that the collection of gunk is about 50% the size it was previous to that. So,
that's good.
Yeah, because I had a CT scan on Thursday, and it showed it was about 50% the size from my last CT scan, which was about a month and a half ago. So I've got one more procedure scheduled. And after that procedure, if they don't get it all out, then we're going to have a discussion and maybe be aggressive and go surgical and like cut me open and go in that way. Everything they've been doing so far has been endoscopic down through my mouth and throat.
Right.
But because it's been taking a long time and it's a lot of multiple procedures, and there's a risk as you do a procedure, like, so holy shit, like if I'm doing 10 procedures, there's 10 possible risks. If we can just do one, cut me open and get it all out, while there's more risk to that, it's less risk overall, so we'll see.
It's one event instead of so many.
It's one event instead of 6 more maybe or whatever. So we're going to do one more endoscopic procedure. And after that endoscopic procedure on the 30th of July, we will make a determination and talk to a surgeon and potentially at least explore those risks and understand that procedure. Because I gotta get it stopped and over with. I can't drag this stuff out another, having a procedure every 2 and 3 weeks is just getting old, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So if we can just go in once, even though I realize that's not outpatient surgery, I would need to spend the night in a hospital. And I'd probably have to take 3 or 4 days off of work to recover from it. That to me sounds more appealing than 5 more procedures every 2 weeks for the rest of the year type of thing. But we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky, and the next endoscopic procedure will get everything, and we'll call it good for a little bit. And then when I'm all healed, they'll go in one last time and remove my gallbladder. Yeah, it was very strange when my doctor suggested having a Coke every day. But I try to listen to my doctors and do what they say. And I don't know if it's helped or not, but when I'm all done, I will stop again. And the reason why I stopped about 8 years ago is because I was doing 6 or 7 monsters a day. And one of those was the screw top. It was like 40 ounces or whatever. Like, I was drinking way too much.
Yeah.
Of the monsters, rock stars, that variety of drink. And I just figured that can't be good.
Yeah. I had a friend that went to the hospital 3 days with kidney failure from that stuff.
It's just
he was ridiculous, by the way. I don't want to just say make it sound like he just drank one every so often.
Right.
That guy probably put 3 or 4 away a day. He was a driver, parts driver. So you grab a bunch, they're all in the seat. He's gone for 6 hours a day, delivering parts and shit, and then he's just puzzling those things, not realizing what it's doing to him.
Yeah, no, I was legit at 6 or 7 a day, 4 months. Yeah. I had been doing it that way. It starts off with 1 a day, then it's 2 a day because they sell them 2 for $5, and then they have a sale 3 for $6, and so you buy 3 and you drink all 3. It just became a problem. So Knife Life says, do you guys?
You're right about that. The whole like they give you like deals on buy 2
Yes.
or 3. That's true.
Yes.
I noticed that a lot more with energy drinks than anything
Yes.
else. That I
And you
never thought
think
of
to
that.
yourself, you'll have that other one tomorrow morning because
Yeah.
you get one every morning, right? At 7-Eleven or whatever. But you don't drink it. You don't save it till tomorrow morning. You drink it on your way home.
Yep.
And then you pick up 2 tomorrow. And then you have 1 in the morning on the way to work. And then you have 1 on the way home. Like that's just how it works. So Knife Life says, do you see value in an integral knife or an integral knife, however you want to pronounce it?
Or difficult to service.
I don't know if there's value. I mean, should they cost a little bit more? Probably yes, because there is more machining and whatnot. So I don't have a problem if one knife, even from the same maker, and they're the same model, one's integral and one's not, the integral being $100, $200 more. Like I'm okay with that in my mind.
But if I had the choice, I might buy the non-integral one just because I don't. It depends if you find value in like that artistic expression, right? Like it's very cool to like, it's like showing off your machining capabilities when you can cut one piece of titanium and make a whole knife handle out of it. But then you got to figure out clever ways to like capture the blade and the bearings in there and somehow figure out a way to like capture like the stop pin we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Or you just machine it out of like the body itself. Like there's a lot to it. So it's definitely more expensive because it's a lot more difficult to accomplish. Is it worth the extra money? I don't know. If I really think the knife is super cool looking and because it's in the way that it's built, maybe I'll buy it. It just depends. I don't know. Like I tried to go into that integral knife thing like many years ago and just like I bought a few of them just to see like how impressed I would be and stuff. And honestly, like when it comes down to it, if like I wanted to take the blade out just to clean the bearings or something, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yep.
And yeah, you know, like I don't know if I like find like the benefits that I don't find that much return in the benefits. But yeah, it's super cool. It is very cool. It's
I agree.
Just more like subjective if that's your thing, you know. If you like integrals, buy integrals. They're really cool. They just by nature they are more expensive for obvious reasons.
I agree. I don't own any. I'm always impressed when people send them in and I get to handle them and look at them because to me it's an impressive piece of machinery, of machining, engineering, thought process, all of that. I am impressed with that. But I don't necessarily like at this point in my life and collection, I don't need to go out and own one to fulfill my collection of things, right? I collect differently maybe, and I collect a lot differently after being in the hospital for 64 days and having a lot of time to think. I may sell off some of my high-end, you can't see behind me, but you've seen the tool chest behind me. There's 2 or 3 drawers full of, custom high-end knives. Do I need them all? Are they there just collecting dust? Why do I own them? And this is probably a whole different discussion. This is a whole different video discussion. Maybe a different live stream is why do we own what we own? Is it because we love it? Or is it because I have it and you can't have it because I have the only 2 or I have the only 1 or I have the only 5? Like, I don't know. Those were some of the things I was wrestling with in my brain in the hospital was why do I own all of these Frank Fisher battles? Well, because they're cool, but because nobody else can own them because I have them. And I don't know if that's...
Well, I mean, there is we do put some identity into like the things we like and we own. And we do like let those things kind of like not determine who you are, but it describes who you are, right? Like And a lot of times I think, especially like it's hard to explain now, but 10 years ago, if any of you guys, which some of you I know have been in the game that long, it used to be about buying fun stuff, post fun pictures, talk with your friends, send your buddies your knives, swap them around. Like it was a social thing. It's a social thing,
Yeah,
right?
it was different.
It was different, and I find myself kind of like I didn't really want to sell like my whole knife collection, but I do want to sell some even more now because now I got to buy a staccato. So if you guys want something in my collection, I'm like more amped to sell cool stuff right now because I need me a staccato.
Well, there's
uh,
American knives that you have that's got my name on it when the time comes. I know you're not ready to
oh
sell
yeah, I know
that
which
one
one you're
yet,
talking about.
but when that time
Yeah,
comes, although
yeah, that's a good one.
the crazy offer you got a few months back, I'm not sure I can match that. But we'll talk normal pricing.
Yeah, that was true.
But
Yeah,
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 so I don't know. I may sell some
yeah.
too
Well, I
because
mean, to
I
be
just
fair, I have like enough production knives and shit here to probably
oh
buy
yeah.
a staccato without selling that crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
where I was thinking about thinning it out, right?
yep.
Like my JG Scout is a knife I'll never sell. Like that
Right.
knife I love to death. It's not the coolest knife I have by any means, but it's one of
Right.
my favorites.
Yep.
And so I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was asking me what I was carrying in my pocket, and one of my coworkers, because I had a pocket clip sticking out.
Yeah.
And to his surprise, I didn't have a knife in there. I had a multi-tool. I had a
Oh.
Leatherman 3P4.
Okay.
And he asked me, "Where's your knife, man?" I'm like, "It's right here." And I flicked out the little blade on the
Right.
Leatherman. He's like, because he collects knives and stuff. So he's asking me, is it stupid? Because he wants to like buy, what was it, a Microtech of some sort.
Yeah.
And he's like, should I just like buy a multi-tool like that? And, it got him thinking like maybe that's a smarter purchase. I'm
It
like,
is a
well,
smarter purchase. All of these custom knives and all this stuff, it's not the smartest thing to get into. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's better than drugs. Okay. It's better than drugs, but a multi-tool is much more functional for the average person, and it's got a blade on it, and you're good. Getting into these
yeah,
high-end customs and doing all these things, it's just money. It's
yeah,
and when I was in the hospital, I was thinking and about how much money do I have in my knife collection and my watch collection and all these things. I'm like, holy shit. And then as
yeah,
I'm going through some estate planning because I had near death experience, and so you get out of the hospital and you're like, I need a will, I need a trust, I need to get all these things, quote unquote, get my shit together. So like as I going through that, I have to put values to these things. So I have to tell my attorney that I've got X amount of dollars in custom knife collection. Now they didn't say anything, but as I was writing it out so that I can send it to them, I'm like, I'm putting this in writing and I'm sending it to my attorneys. Like, oh my God, like what is wrong with me? Like so it's been an interesting thing, right? And I learned a lot
yeah,
about estate planning and trusts and all that stuff that we won't get into here. But yeah, I am going through, I'm growing up, I'm being an adult and getting my shit together. So
yeah.
yeah.
I'm kind of getting there too, where I'm not really buying many knives anymore.
Right.
But I mean, to be fair, like I've gotten very distracted lately with a new. I mean, it's
Whoa.
not a
Yeah.
new hobby, but the competition part's pretty new. So, but I just got like so much fulfillment out of it that like I kind of almost felt like, well, if I take a bunch of this and put it into that, I'm not really losing anything. I'm just getting
Yeah.
something different that'll probably give me a lot more fun in return than to just have like a collection of knives and crap, right? So,
Same
um,
sort of thing I was thinking about because I would sell some knives and stuff, and then I would either, buy my other carry gun or, do a house project, right? I've wanted to do a house project since I bought this house. And there's 3 or 4 projects that are in that, $10, $20, $30,000 range. I could sell some custom knives and I could do a $20,000 project and call it good. Like,
Right.
So yeah, it's those types of things that when you're on your sort of deathbed, I wasn't really on my deathbed at that point. I had gotten past that, but it made you think about a lot of things.
For sure, for sure. Well, I think you're looking at it all right, but at the same time, I don't want to like condemn like all the good times I've had with all like these knives and
Oh yeah.
stuff, and it's just I guess I'm evolving a little bit, right? And but I don't think I'll ever like get out of knife collecting in
No.
a sense.
We're not going to get out of it. We're going to shift a little bit. And I think we all evolve our collections and our hobbies. I was way more into guns and shooting when I lived in Southern California because I had a bunch of acreage that I lived on, and I could just literally walk out the front door and go shooting on my property. No big deal, right? So I did a lot more of that. I moved back up to Northern California, and now you got to find the range. You got to go to the range. You got to pack up your shit. You got to drive over there. Like it's more of a hassle now. So I kind of got out of it a little more. So Knife Life said he's balancing his collection, his knife collection, with the things he needs for his newborn child, which absolutely is more important. If you had to sell everything.
We got to stop him for a second because you're a dad of like a few kids. I'm a dad too.
Yeah.
Let's just be straight with him and tell him that you don't need a lot of shit to raise a newborn. Like when I first had my daughter, I had so much stuff given to us, like in our house, like people, like we had new beds, rockers, this, that. Like you always do that as like a new parent. And what's going to happen is you're going to pile all this crap. You're going to use probably everything maybe one time just because you have it and you want to try it and then throw it out and just use simple stuff that works. So don't go selling your whole collection to buy like crazy stuff,
Yeah, the first kid, you get a bunch of stuff for free from your family and friends and stuff. And you don't know what you need yet. Like the first kid is weird.
Have a bed ready, have like clothes ready, and then like bottles and warmers. And that's about like just these simple things. Get a thermometer. Like you don't need like expensive stuff for a kid. As being a new, if I was, many ways and money. That's like ammunition for guns, diapers.
Or get a diaper service. I highly recommend diaper service. I used a diaper service and cloth diapers with my second son. It was amazing. I am a strong advocate and would highly recommend using cloth diapers with a diaper service that comes to your house once a week, picks up the dirty diapers, and gives you brand new clean diapers. You don't have to rinse them out. They're all poopy and messy. You just throw them in the bin. They take them. You don't have to do nothing. It is so great. And statistically, the kids potty train earlier with cloth diapers because they feel the wetness because it doesn't suck it away like a Pampers or a Huggies. And so they feel
and they don't like it.
And they don't like it, so they learn quicker the potty training thing. I am a huge proponent of that. Just my 2 unasked for advice cents.
Yep. So don't go selling your whole collection if you want some money aside to get ready for things. But I'm just saying, like, as a parent, like, or actually I think I saw a couple people made some comments too. You don't need that much stuff, like I think somebody told me the same thing too when I was becoming a new dad. Like, you don't need all that much, but we got gifted like a bunch of stuff. So we had it regardless, and the only thing that we were really happy and excited to have a lot of was diapers.
Yeah, you need a lot of diapers. And we went out and we bought like the nice fancy leather car seat because it matched the leather in my Jeep. So I had a fancy car seat because,
I had a Recaro baby seat.
That was mine too, and it was leather and all that, so that it was fancy, like my car. Okay, we did stupid shit. But,
no, but that I'm all for. Go ahead and get a Recaro.
Some safety stuff that's cool. Go ahead and do that.
Yeah,
and if you're planning on having a second child, like my son, they don't need that much for this one. They need bottles because they tossed all the bottles from the first one, but like it's another boy. He's going to wear most of the same clothes that the other boy grew out of, because baby clothes, as somebody said in the comments, they grow out of it and it's still brand new. They wore it once or twice. It's brand new. So you just reuse it.
Max, the cattle dog, wants to say hello to everybody. This is our mascot.
Yep.
He came and nosed me and checking in on everybody and just wanted to say hello.
And another place too, Knife Life, is Facebook Marketplace. You'd be surprised how many people are like giving away baby clothes and stuff there just to get rid of, because they're done with their kids, they don't fit, whatever. So you could get like bags and bags of like baby clothes for like $5. And you just go over to some random house and you leave it under the doormat. You know, we could go on and on about the whole Facebook Marketplace and some random dude coming over to my house to pick up the microwave from the porch as I'm watching him on camera sitting behind the door with my freaking gun just in case, you know. But like, yeah, it's crazy what we do. Yeah, here's my address. Come by. Put $20 underneath the doormat. Don't even.
That is so weird.
Some dude came the other day and bought my race bike from my triathlon days. And he texted me from the driveway and said, I'm here. And I saw him on my cameras and I was armed and I went out and opened the garage door and showed him my bike. And he handed me, $100 bills, kind of spanned those out for me and I left and away you go. So, but yeah, it's crazy. Normally I'd never have anybody come. Just, yeah, here's my address. Some random stranger on the internet. What the hell? I don't know. Crazy. But anyway, man, we have been here for a while. So I know that Alex is dying there. He's probably getting dehydrated now because he's just drinking soda in the sauna. So we need to let him go so he can get some water and rehydrate. And all you people in the comments, this has been fun. Okay.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun today.
A little more structured maybe next time. Maybe not. We don't know. But I put in the comments Alex's Instagram. I will remember to put it in, because I don't know if these comments show up later when people watch. So I will put it in the real comments in a little bit. And make sure you're subscribed to his channel. That's in the description already. And make sure you're subscribed to mine because hopefully you are. And if you want to be a channel member, there's a little link down there somewhere. Click on that and it's all good.
Yep.
And we will see you guys in a couple of weeks. And just so you know, I have 2 videos already filmed for this coming week. I'm going to film one more. I already know what it's going to be. So I'm going to have 3 videos this week coming out. So
yes,
I'm starting to get a little bit back into the swing. I did a couple, the other day. And so my goal is 2 to 3 a week. So nice. If I can do 3 a week, that's going to be my new goal. I don't think I'm going to get to 5 a week, once a day again. That's just too much. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But 3 a week is kind of my new goal. And I should have that for this coming week for sure. And probably the following week. I think 3 a week is easy for me to get done.
Sweet. I look forward to it.
So thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. And we will see you on the next time.
Thanks, guys.